So here we have to solve equations with variable on both sides. So right now, all we've done was we solved an equation and the variable was only on one side. But I did mention to you that you have to simplify both sides. Make sure when you know to simplify, it just means that there's a variable and a constant on each side. So the very first thing that you have to do when you're solving an equation with variables on both sides is make sure again you simplify each side. Over here, we're going to simplify by combining the like terms. The like terms are 3x and 4x. And remember what we said about 3x and 4x. 3x and 4x are both variables. In this case, with invisible math, positive 3, positive 4, that means we have 7x, 7 positive. So 7x minus 10. So that negative 10 there or minus 10, they mean the same thing. We know this side simplified because you have a variable and you have a constant. Your variable is 7x. Your constant is negative 10. Now, this is just not considered a variable. X is still just your variable, but the 7 is called a coefficient. But in our case, I just call it the variable, so you know you're separating the variables from the constants or the letters from the numbers. Okay, on this side, not simplified yet, so we have to do the distributive property first. So the distributive property means I have to multiply a negative 2 times a positive 1x and a negative 2 times a negative 4. So positives and negatives, remember, if it's the same sign, when you multiply, it gives you a positive answer. If they are different signs, that gives you a negative answer. So negative 2 times positive 1, invisible math again, is negative 2. So this will be negative 2x. And negative 2 times negative 4, remember that whatever symbol is in front of that constant makes it positive or negative. So a negative times a negative is a positive. So I know this is going to be positive 8. And we still have that positive 9 hanging out. Notice I did not multiply negative 2 times positive 9 because it is not in the parentheses. It's not in the quantity x minus 4. Okay, over here, you'll notice that we do not have it simplified completely yet. We still have two constants that have to go together. They are 8 and 9. So over here, I'm just going to rewrite this because it is simplified. But over here, we can combine our constants of positive 8 and positive 9. So 9 positives, 8 positives gives us a total of 17 positives. Now, this is important, guys. And the reason this is so important is now we are simplified. We're not quite down to knowing what the variable is yet. We don't know what x is. But this simplified version right here is going to help you out with something here in a minute. I will show you. So there's a math trick coming to you again, another trick to help you get a little bit faster at the stuff we're working on right now. So now we're going to get rid of, we have to move some things. So this is where we're going to use addition properties or subtraction properties to move things, to get rid of things. So in this case, notice that we can move anything we want. We can move the positive 7x or the negative 10 or the negative 2x or the positive 17. We can move them. We can get rid of them by undoing them. So when I say undo them, I just mean this. The very first thing I'm going to undo is I'm going to do negative 10. Well, minus 10 to undo a minus or subtraction is to add 10. But if I add 10 to one side, I have to add 10 to another side. So over here, I'm going to add 10 to this side, which means I also have to add 10 to this side. And I'm going to write the whole thing out now so you can see it happen. But if you want to take a little bit of, if you want to use your own math and come up with your own methods, and you go right ahead. This side, the only thing I have left is 7x because a positive 10 and negative 10 cancel out. And this side, I have negative 2x plus 27. I'm going to warn you about this negative 2x. A lot of times 8th graders bring that down, but they forget their negatives. So be very careful with the signs. I'm going to say that a lot this year. Make sure your signs are correct because even those little teeny tiny signs will mess you all up. Okay, now, in this case, we want to get the variable all by itself. So I'm not going to move the number 27 because if I get rid of it, if I undo it, I'm just taking it away from both sides and it's not combining anything. So we want to get these variables combined. So I'm going to do kind of two steps at once. I'm going to get the variables combined, and I'm also going to get the variable over here and the constant over there all by itself. So I'm going to get rid of that. So in order to undo minus 2x, I have to add 2x to both sides. So if I add 2x to this side and I add 2x to this side, I am left with 9x over here. And over here, the negative 2x and the positive 2x cancel out. So I get 27. So if I divide both sides by 9, because we have to undo the multiplication by doing division and get the variable all by itself, we will know that x equals 3. I'm going to place that over here for you. So our final answer was just x equals 3. There's a couple of things you need to know about this. Because we got an answer of x equals 3, in algebra we say that there is one solution. There's one real solution. So there is one solution to this equation, and that solution is equal to 3. Now, there's a secret way that we can know that there is one solution to equations before we get the whole thing done. When you get to this point right here, and you notice that your two variables are totally different, if they are totally different, you know that there is going to be one solution to the problem. You don't know what the solution is yet, but you do know that it's going to have a solution. And that's important to remember for the next couple examples that I'm going to tell you here. Now, I also want to make sure I check my solution like I told you in the other equation videos, because I want to make sure I'm correct. So I know it takes a lot of time, but mathematically, we like the people that give us the correct answers. Do we know that something is correct? So if I take my 3 and I put it here in my simplified version, 7 times 3 is 21. 21 minus 10 gives us 11. So I can place a little 11 there just so I remember that. Over here, negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. So if I have 6 negatives and 17 positives, the positives will win. 6 of them will get taken away. So that will mean that we have 11 on this side as well. So I know my answer is correct. So again, we know there's one solution. That solution in this case is x equals 3. Before we even solve anything, we already know there's going to be one solution because my simplified version has different variables. Okay, keep that in mind as we go through a few of the next examples, because they're not going to have one solution. They're going to have infinite solutions, or they may possibly have no solutions. So we have all kinds of different equations that have a different number of answers to them. Okay, always pay attention, guys, to something that I'm going to show you that's going to help you out with the next lesson, or show you some tricks that you'll know for the rest of your life in math class.